The 1 Degree Shift. Discover the Simplicity of Lasting Change by Flora Sage. Bonus chapter, My Rock Bottom. It was 2000. I was recently divorced with 2 beautiful baby boys, and suddenly, tragedy struck. It was a Monday morning when I got the phone call. "Did you hear about Pamela?" "No, what happened?" I asked. Grayson had the kids over the weekend, and when he brought them back, he broke down the door, shot Pamela, their son Brian, and then himself. Pamela survived, but Brian isn't going to make it. Neither is Grayson. I was devastated. I immediately looked for what hospital they were at and drove as fast as I could to go see them. It was a horrific scene before me. While driving back, I couldn't stop thinking about the weekend prior to this tragedy. All weekend, my intuition was going crazy, giving me 3 pieces of information that kept flying in and out of my mind. Pamela, Krista, and how tragic it would be to lose a child. Since the age of 12, I've been an intuitive person, but I've struggled to put all the pieces together throughout the years. The pieces I received that weekend seemed to make no sense. The first piece, Pamela, a current friend with 2 children whom I worked with and frequently babysat for. The second piece, Krista, a former friend who I served with in the Marine Corps. About a month prior, she had contacted me to catch up and shared with me how she lost her son in a freak car accident. And the third piece, how tragic it would be to lose a child. I had been so busy over the weekend that I never took the time to put these pieces together. When I got home from the hospital, I cried and screamed at God or whomever was up there for over 2 hours, feeling responsible for what had happened. Why, I just screamed as I looked up at the cracked plaster ceiling. There was no answer. If I only had taken a few minutes to stop and call Pamela, maybe this wouldn't have happened. "You know what, God?" I screamed. "I don't want this. Whatever the hell this is, and all this intuition or being psychic stuff, whatever it is, I don't want it. Why would you give me this if you're not going to tell me how the hell to use it? From now on, I'm going to ignore you." And that's exactly what I did. Over the next 3 years of my life, my world turned into a complete shit show. I rebounded from a divorce, cut off any form of my intuition that I had, and began a 3-month affair with a close friend's husband. I moved from Oklahoma to Minnesota, started a job, got married again, got divorced again, got laid off, and finally I said, fuck it, I need to start over. I had recently got passports for my 2 sons and myself, just in case we ever got the chance to travel. With a desire for a new start, I set my eyes towards South Africa, where a few friends of mine had lived, and I felt that this was our chance. After a few months of planning, purging, and sorting all of the essentials, we were on a 16-hour flight to Cape Town, South Africa. The plan? To start fresh. Little did I know that my life would be just the same shit show there, but with a different cast of characters. On the surface, it felt like we were on vacation. Sightseeing, road tripping, working at a modeling agency, new boyfriend, friends, dinner parties, the whole thing. However, underneath the smile, I was miserable inside. I felt more and more pessimistic and negative each and every passing day, putting my happiness in the hands of the people around me instead of mine. One afternoon, I decided to bring my kids to the beach. It was December, the summer season in South Africa. But just like the life I was living, it felt dreary, overcast, and impossible. As I watched the kids laughing and playing in the water, I noticed something black rolling around the surf. Is that a dead body? I was certain it was. Seconds later, a sea lion popped up, and I felt relief that it wasn't a dead body. But why was that the first thing that came into my mind? I reflected on where I was in life, and I couldn't recognize myself anymore. I felt hopeless. How did I become so negative and dark that my brain went straight to the morbid place of, oh my gosh, is that a dead body? I knew it was time to be honest with myself. I had to stop blaming my stepmom, my dad, my friends, and everyone else for my problems. I realized that amongst all the bullshit I had gone through in my life, no matter who was there with me and around me, it was me that was responsible for the life that I was living in this very moment. Only I was responsible for my unhappiness and my happiness. And it wasn't anyone else's fault. That was a difficult pill to swallow. This was my rock bottom. I had so many problems and was so overwhelmed that I didn't even know where to begin. So I looked up to the sky and did something that I hadn't done in over 3 years. I prayed. I looked up at the sky and whispered, God, whoever's up there, please come back. I can't do this on my own. Please show me one step to take, not 20. I don't have the energy for 20. Just give me one single step. Tears streamed down my face as I said this prayer. There were so many decisions I had to make, and I knew I wasn't equipped to make all of them, but I knew I had to do something. I cried out, please help me fix my life. Show me what to do. I need to shift something, anything, to know that everything is going to be okay. I held my breath as I sat in the wet sand. I kept my eyes on the clouds. The waves were crashing at my feet, and my kids were playing beside me. I waited, and I listened with all my heart for the first time in 3 years. Please come back. Give me the next step. Moments later, I heard an answer. Call Lisa and ask to move in with her today. What? I asked, almost jumping at what I heard so plainly and what seemed like right next to me. Call Lisa and ask her to move in today. Okay, I said, with a feeling of relief. I felt as if the clouds had just parted. We went back to the house, and not knowing what time it was there or if Lisa would even answer, I called her. To my surprise, she immediately answered. I told her, Lisa, things aren't working out here. Can I come move in with you for a little while? Absolutely, she said without hesitation. Lisa is the middle sister in my family, and she had also been in the Marine Corps around the same time I was. She was the sibling that I got along with the most. Calling her was the one step that I could do that day towards change. Over the next 2 weeks, I bought tickets to St. Paul, Minnesota, where Lisa lived. I wrapped up any loose ends I had in Cape Town and packed up our life once again. On the flight back to the United States, we were seated directly across from the bathroom. For 16 hours, we had to smell the airplane bathroom. I thought, could it get any worse than this? At one point during the flight, I made a complaint to the flight attendant about the smell, and a gentleman sitting one row back and across from me, he said, "You are the most miserable woman I have ever seen." It just got worse. I turned my head away from him and cried. He was right. I was miserable, and I knew I had a long way to go to be anywhere near happy. One small shift has the power to significantly impact your life. It can bring you one step closer from where you are to where you want to be. So there I was, divorced twice, single mom of 2 boys, homeless, jobless, and nowhere to go but up. Over the next 7 months, I worked at being honest with myself and the kind of life that I really wanted. I made one tiny shift each day. It was challenging, and I fought with my ego every step of the way, but I powered through. My mindset shifted from one of doom and gloom to hope and excitement. I worked with the VA to get my college benefits and found a place for my family and I in Oklahoma to live while I went to school. I started praying again and talking to not only God and whoever else was up there, but my mom and all of the celestial support that I knew was with me. And they helped me every day show me that life was a gift. Rock bottom hurts for all of us, but we can only go up from there. The hardest part is shifting your mind and taking that first step. I invite you to join me in the 1 Degree Shift Tribe while you make your 1 degree to greatness and create a life that you're excited about.